All right, so can you give us a little insight about your role at Fidra Lions Hockey Club in North Berwick, and perhaps a bit more insight into what you're doing with GB Hockey?
So with GB Hockey, I'm coach educator is the phrase they use. So we deliver all the new courses, so engaging games, club workshops for workshop for club coaches when I get it right way around, integrating goalies and all them. And then there's the new version of the kind of level 1 and level 2, which is intro hockey and sessional coach.
So is that specifically looking at grassroots sports and youth sports, or looking at adults?
It's everything across the board. So it's kind of whatever the coach does, we've got to try and adapt it to give them the tools to go back to their club and be able to deliver a slightly different or higher standard. Just to give them some ideas on how to do that. And where before it was kind of the opposite, it was more based around technique-driven stuff, where it's now kind of, so engaging games is the perfect one. So how do we now get people to engage in games in hockey, where the old leaders course and level 1 course used to be, how do we push the ball? How do we do an Indian dribble? How do we slap a ball? How do we tackle? And you still need all that, but getting them involved in games and running around is far more enjoyable than standing still on how to pass a ball backwards and forwards.
And what are you doing at Fidra Lions?
Fidra Lions, I'm the youth development officer or club development officer, and I'm trying to just get as many people as possible involved in the club. So the junior section's really starting to change, and with our big focus then is fun and enjoyment and learning. And kind of, don't get me wrong, nobody ever steps onto a hockey pitch and goes, I'm going to lose this game on purpose because I don't want to win. But it's teaching them that losing is acceptable and you have to deal with it, because you're not going to win everything unless you're really, really lucky. And we've really been in the last year or so focusing on linking all the men's stuff together. So we've got 2 men's teams. We had an under-14 teams with a lot of young boys in it, and they were starting to come through the system and move up the way. And we lost a few early on because it was one young boy playing with 15 men. And now that they're coming through in bigger batches. So like we're looking at this year, our men's team's going to have changed massively in the 2s to probably 10, 12 boys between the ages of 14 and 16. And then 8 or 9 guys who are 35 plus, 40 plus, where you go back 2 years and the whole team was 40 plus.
Which is not great for the development of the club.
No, but we knew that, and it's kind of, so it's just a process of if they want to move up. So we've got a couple who are going, who are like 14, 15 and go, I don't think I quite want to play adult hockey yet. And it's like, well, fine, no problem. You just come and play in our under 16 team. And if you want to make the move, you can. If you don't, we're quite happy to have you until you decide what you want to do. And there's no pressure on them to do anything. It's just their choice. We find that a lot of the boys quite like the challenge and want to move on and want to play as much as possible. For some, hockey's not necessarily their primary sport. So they're going, well, I play football on a Sunday with all my mates and I quite like that. But I play hockey at school and I quite enjoy that, so I'm going to go along training and play some under 16 games. I'm not going to give up football or hockey. I'm just doing it as a bit extra.